Welcome everybody inside Center Ice Arena here in Traverse City, Michigan for the annual Red and White game wrapping up Red Wings training camp. Today's stream is presented by Huntington Bank. I'm Daniela Bruce alongside Art Regner, who we are so excited to have with us today. Ken Kal as well, and Carly Johnston will be ringside. We'll check in with her in just a few moments. And I want to give a quick shout out to Richard Barton, who is watching on YouTube today, and he's currently deployed in the Middle East. So thank you for your service, Richard, and thank you so much for tuning into our stream today, guys. That's pretty cool.
Well, you know, there's certain teams that are referred to as like America's team. I think we can say that the Red Wings are the world's team.
They are the world's
so I'm
team.
not surprised about that. And thank you for your service there, Richard. And hopefully we'll be able to provide you with a couple hours of fun here.
That's right.
Well, it's 12 noon here in Traverse City, kind of an early start for this Red-White game, but don't know what the time it is out where our man is watching, but you know, the thing is, it's great and really kind of the end of training camp. You always say that the Red-White game is always the conclusion of training camp, even though the team will practice again tomorrow here in Traverse City. But we've had a great couple of weeks here, and it all ends here today.
Right. I've had a great 12 hours or so up here, and it was wonderful. You know, 13 days trip, and I did pack for 13 days. So when I did show up yesterday, I have enough clothes for 13 days up here, but
over prepared. I like it.
But you know, hey, I just want to say this, and I truly mean this. You know, as I was in quarantine, I watched every stream. I watched all the Zooms. I even asked a couple of questions, and I guess I asked the same question to Coach Lalonde, the same question that he was just asked. So, you know, once in a while I was like drifting in and out, I guess, of reality. But I just wanted to say that this has been you guys have done an excellent job.
Thank you, Art.
For the Prospects tournament, because I know that that's like a game every other day, and our entire crew and everybody, it was fabulous to watch. And, you know, I was so happy and proud of each and every one of you, top-notch crew. And, you know, and now that I'm here, of course, it'll be that much better.
Exactly,
but,
but there it is, everybody. There it is.
No, but seriously, I just wanted to really say that excellent job by everyone up here. And I know it's long. I mean, 13, 14 days up here. It's a beautiful area, but, you know, it can get grating once in a while. But you guys did an outstanding job.
Well, thank you, Art. We appreciate it. And you were truly missed. So we're excited to have you here today. Let's take a look at the teams that we're going to see in today's Red and White game, starting with the forwards for Team Red. There you go. Philip Zadina, Jacob Verana, Tara Hirose, Michael Rasmussen, Giovanni Smith, Riley Piercy's in there, Cross Hannes, Dominic Kubalik. I skipped a couple of them, but guys, that's a pretty good forward group for Team Red.
Two players that really played well, I thought, in the prospect tournament. Number 58, Riley Piercy. He had 5 goals, got involved in a fight, mixed it up a lot. He's getting an opportunity to play in this red-white game. And Cross Hannes, I thought, was terrific offensively. Scored on a couple of breakaways throughout the course of the prospects tournament. And also Cross Hannes was really good on the power play, not only shooting the puck, but passing the puck as well.
All right, let's take a look at the defensemen for Team Red. Oli Mata, Philip Hronek, Albert Johansson, Robert Hagg, Jared McIsaac, Wyatt Newpower, Oscar Plantowski, and Jordan Osterley. Art, you see the goaltenders there too, Alex Nedeljkovic and Jussi Okanora. What do you like about the defensemen for Team Red?
Well, you know, I think we're going to probably see Mata and Hronek paired up together. I'm really interested to see Robert Hagg, who I think was kind of a late addition to the Red Wings. I think he's a big physical defenseman, and I think we're going to like what we see from him. And Albert Johansson. I mean, certainly Albert Johansson, maybe a dark horse candidate to make this team. We'll see once the preseason begins. And, you know, and of course, how can I not root for my guy Jordan Osterley? You know, I mean, I go to his house every other day. So
you're a big Osterley fan. Osterley's a big Art fan. It works well for you.
Well, great people. Dearborn Heights, Livonia, we're right next to each other, I guess. But seriously, I'll tell you what I'm really interested in to see. I want to see the Red Wings in the Derek Lalonde era.
Yeah.
You know, he talked about the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He was going to implement all their different systems, what he wants to play. He says we can skate. We're a fast team. Dylan talked about how they're going to start playing defense in the neutral zone instead of, I guess, backing up and letting the team come into the offensive zone. So I just want to see the structure in how different this team's going to be, because I think we're all in agreement here. The Red Wings are a better team. Steve made a lot of great additions, and you know, we're starting to see the young players starting to, you know, up their game. You know, obviously, you know, I'm obsessed with Simon Edvinsson, you know, so I want to see how the Cy guy does. But aside from that, I mean, this is We're on our way, if I can put that. I don't want to be over melodramatic here, but I think the team is on their way, and I'm really eager to see, this current edition of Red Wings, and especially under Coach Lalonde.
All right, Art is amped up. We can already tell he's feeling it after not being able to talk for a couple of weeks. But let's look at Team White real quick. Here are the forwards for Team White: Matt Luff, Lucas Raymond, Pius Suter, Pontus Andreasen, Jonathan Berggren had a great camp so far. Drew Ward's on that team. Dylan Larkin, Adam Ernie, Kirill Tutayev, Elmer Soderblom. And we'll do a quick look at the defensemen as well: Edvinsson, Chirot, Lidstrom, Sabrengo, Vero, Sider, Kampfer, Biaka Batuka. Goalies are Kosa and Huso. So we'll get another look at Sebastian Kosa here today. We have some ways for all of you guys to get involved in our stream. The first one, tweet us your questions using the hashtag LGRW. And we also have another fun way for all of you to get involved. And we're going to bring in our fourth member of the broadcast, Carly Johnston, to tell you more about that one. Carly, how's it going?
Good. I'm really excited. The guys just took the ice, so you can feel the energy ramping up at Center Ice Arena. I almost said Little Caesars Arena.
Not yet,
That'll
Carly.
be Wednesday. But really excited. The fans, it's a packed house, so I'm going to keep this quick because things are about to start. You can vote in a QR code. Scan that QR code and vote which new addition that you're most looking forward to seeing this season. And your options are David Perron, Ben Sherratt, Andrew Kopp, who we will see in the regular season, and Ville Husso. Ben Sherratt's going to be my answer because he's a big physical player. Multiple people, including coach, have said that he's been the most standout guy during training camp. So I'm really excited to see what he can do for that blue line. But that's my answer. How about you guys?
Well, thank you, Carly, and we'll be tossing down to Carly throughout the game. We appreciate that. My pick is definitely David Perron after we were able to see what he could do during camp, but we are getting set for an anthem here at Center Ice. Oh, they are. Okay. Well, we're standing by for the face-off. Looked like they were getting set for an anthem, didn't it?
I think that the Wings were expecting an anthem. I don't know.
Just a quick note for everybody. We will not see Tyler Bertuzzi today or Joe Veleno. Tyler Bertuzzi had a little flare-up during camp, so I'm sure they're just keeping him out as a precautionary issue. He is day-to-day right now and should be good to go soon. But here we go, Ken. We're underway.
2 periods of 25 minutes each, and we're underway. Team White breaks it out. Here's Raymond with the feed up the right side. It's chopped away from him, comes out to center, and Larkin to dump it to Mo Sider. Ben Sherratt hammers it up the left wing boards into the team red zone, and there to scoop it up, Oli Mata, the Detroit defenseman.
Carly's downstairs keeping an eye on things for us ringside. She's already got a note. Carly, what's going on down there?
You know, I got to say, it was quick. I was talking about Ben Sherratt, but we do see him with an A on his chest. I know he's more of a veteran presence, especially on that blue line. So it's cool to see a letter on a new guy here at Center Ice Arena.
Well, that's actually a very good note, Carly, because I know fans are really wondering who's going to be wearing the A throughout the season. So here in the red and white game, Ben Sherratt has one of them, guys.
Right. Well, I saw that too, and I thought, well, that's interesting. I guess maybe people are, we speculate all the time, and we're thinking maybe Sherratt will be a guy that will wear an A this year. And then from the way we understand, the Red Wings will have 4 A's this year. 2 gentlemen that'll wear it on the road, and then 2 different gentlemen will wear it on the at home.
And then Suter comes in with a shot, and the save was made. And let's keep an eye on Robert Hagg, too. He went crashing in along the end boards, kind of lost an edge, and he skated gingerly over to the Team Red players' bench. Maybe Carly can go down to the bench and see if he's okay.
You know, we didn't get to go over the rules for this red and white game. Ken, you mentioned the 2 25-minute halves. They'll cut the ice in between penalty shots and face-off for penalties, so we won't see power play in that circumstance at the end of the first half. There'll be a 3-man shootout before the ice cut. At the end of the second half, there will be a 5-man shootout. We'll refer to those throughout the game here today.
Ville Husso, who came over from the St. Louis Blues, is in Team White's net. He is looking on as the puck is in the corner, and on the other end of the ice, it's Alex Nedeljkovic, and we all remember him from last year in the Red Wing lineup. No score opening period. Glad you're along on this Sunday afternoon for the stream. Adam Ernie winding it up in his own zone as Team Red and Team White changing on the go.
David Perron also has a letter on, by the way.
Puck along the boards. Here is Dominic Shine moving it deeper into the corner. Play is in deep and behind the Team Red goal. Comes back towards the left point, held in. Here's Biaka Batuka. I know Art will probably have a few words on him as that puck goes into the corner, and he gives his man a little rough ride in along the boards. Vero over to the left side. A slap shot, and that one wide of the goal.
I could go on about his uncle, that's for sure. Big, good old Tim.
Buck along the boards, and now back into the corner to the blue line. Vero holds it in, then he turned it over, and Dominic Shine chased down by Tutayev as he rolls it out to center ice. Vero again, and he's been impressive, Daniela, in the prospects tournament. The coaching staff really liked the way he played.
Yeah, he played really well. He had a goal in one of the prospect tournament games. He was one of those players that's coming over for the first time to turn pro here in North America. So where he ends up, I think it'll probably be Grand Rapids to start, but he'll be a great addition to the Red Wings organization.
There's Dylan Larkin wearing the C on that sweater. Brings it up the right side. Pass behind Raymond. Raymond makes a good play to move it to the blue line. It came out to center. Michael Rasmussen out to center ice. I thought he had a pretty good end to his season, Art, last year.
Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, you know, Michael, my favorite Michael story is when he was drafted by the Red Wings in Chicago in 2017, he shook everyone's hand up on the dais there that drafted him and said, I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I think his work and his dedication is paying off.
Sherratt with a shot. Save made by Nedeljkovic. Unable to hold it in, Mo Sider. Red Wings Team White changing defensively on the go. As it's scooped up and played by Les Perrance into the corner, Team Red end, and Olimata to pick it up, veteran defenseman. Hoping to help the Red Wings this year. Brings it forward, head up as he marches out the center, lays it up the right side to Cross Hannes.
Art had mentioned that Hronek and Mata would be paired together. That's something we've been speculating that could be a great pairing throughout the season. So we're getting a look at it here today.
Right, and I think Philip Hronek is, I'm not going to say he had a bad year last year, but he could have had a better year, and I think that he is really going to rebound this year and be very, very, have a really good season for the Wings.
There's Taro Hirose up across the line, chasing him down Camper and Sabrango. Over to the right point it comes, and away from Osterley, and Team Red will have to pick it up inside their own zone. Hag is okay. He is out there after his first shift ended up crashing it along the end boards in his own zone.
We were talking about Jordan Osterley earlier, and I think the advantage that Osterley has when it comes to cracking this roster and being a mainstay on this team is his versatility. Not only is he good on the blue line and he's a steady guy there, but he can go up front if he's ever needed to.
Right, he played forward a couple of games last year for the Red Wings. The thing that he has is a great skating ability.
Here's Kubalik, makes his way in, shoots the puck from the right side, and the save made by Billy Husso.
Husso is my player, by the way, in our little poll here that I'm eager to see.
Oh, you're eager to see Husso? I think we all of them, honestly. And unfortunately, we're not going to see Andrew Kopp here today. But once he's ready to play, he would probably be the answer for me, too.
Jared McIsaac is on the ice. He's been a healthy player, and he's had some tough luck over the last couple of the training camps as far as injuries, but he's wearing uniform number 41 for Team Red.
Right, there's a guy, as you said, Ken, injuries, he's finally healthy. McIsaac was a very high draft choice for Detroit. I remember that his draft class, Red Wings thought that they had 4 guys that were all considered number 1 picks, and they got 2 of them in the second round, McIsaac being one of them. So, you know, he's healthy, and the guy you root for. I mean, you know, he had the ugly incident last year in the boards there, but he rebounded and had a great season for Grand Rapids last year.
19:20 to go here in the first period. Tutayev turned it over, and out to center. Piercy moves it up the far wing. Vero intercepted it off the stick of Warad, and now it's tapped up the left wing out to center ice. Piercy moves it ahead. Spezia to play it into the corner now in the Team White zone.
Riley Piercy had that 4-goal game in the prospect tournament, a free agent invitee, so you'll definitely be keeping your eyes on him. He's making it hard for the Red Wings to not give him a contract.
He looked good, too. He scored a variety of ways in that 4-goal game.
Yeah.
No score. Here's Lucas Raymond. Batting the puck down low into the corner. Berggren will pick it up, move it out in front to Mo Sider with a wrist shot, and Nedeljkovic read it beautifully to make the save.
Berggren's a guy to keep an eye on. Set the rookie scoring record for Grand Rapids last year, number 52. Very nifty little player, and I think he has a legitimate shot based on what'll happen during the 8 preseason games.
Pace is fast here in the early goings of this one. Not many whistles as the puck is in the Team White zone. Neither team has managed to score. Elmer Soderblom is out there, the big 6'8" forward for Detroit.
I thought the lights went out for a second there.
He breathes a little different air than a lot of people.
He really
He's so
does,
tall.
boy. He blocks out the sun.
There will be no power plays in this game. If a team takes a penalty, there will be a penalty shot awarded. So no power plays or penalty kills. That could change, though. It happened last year as they like to sometimes free wheel here as far as the rules go. As the puck comes out to center ice, Robert Hag backpedals into his own end.
And that's right in our wheelhouse, right, Kenny? Just freewheeling.
Your wheelhouse, at least, Art. Your wheelhouse. Also, these are 2 25-minute halves today for those of you tuning in.
And it is a running clock, but the last 5 minutes of each period, they will stop the clock.
Yeah, not many whistles here. Some good action. Both teams have remained onside for the most part as Gustav Lindstrom goes in deep in the team red zone, muscled it up the boards. David Perron will pick it up. Keep an eye on him. He likes to get open in the slot area. David Perron, big power play guy, shot from the blue line by Edvinson, the big tall defenseman, and the goaltender Nedeljkovic with a glove hand save, and he hangs on to it. We've got a whistle.
Early advantage, white team. I think almost all the action has been down.
Yeah,
in the,
it has been. It has been. I just want to mention about David Perron. We heard a lot about him throughout training camp from his teammates and from Coach Derek Lalonde, just how his leadership is showing already out on the ice. His energy levels are great. He wants the guys to bring it every single practice, and he leads the way in that. And I think that's a big reason we see an A on his chest here today. Ken, you mentioned him finding the slots, or finding that spot in the slot. We noticed throughout camp that he's always in the right spot. His positioning is great. And I think he's going to be an excellent addition for the Red Wings, both on and off the ice.
Well, you'll see it on the power play, right, Kenny? I mean, he's going to be... the Red Wings special teams have to get better. Well, Perron, a great addition. The thing that Steve did, and what I really like about this, is that there's competition within this roster which will only make this team better, and I'm really eager to see that. And I'm really eager to see as the season progresses. I love going to practice and watching guys that are competing for playing time on their own squad. It really elevates the team's play and individual play as well.
Another thing, too, is the team has some depth on offense. And if you look at all the three lines, when everybody's healthy, there's a lot of players that can score goals now on this Red Wing team. And so they do have some depth up front.
Well, we put 12 forwards together, just a little game we like to play. And you're leaving some pretty named players off that 12
It's
forwards.
tough. Yeah, it's tough to put together the 4 lines that we're going to see on opening night.
I mean, you think the top 9 is set, but then again, what do we know?
Next to nothing, Art. We know
There
next
we
to
go.
nothing.
Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that.
Hero with a centering attempt knocked away. Lucas Raymond hustles over to hold it in at the right point, forced to the blue line, and then turned it over. And Dominic Shine comes out to center ice, lifts it end over end to the left side of the team white goal. Neither team has scored. Dylan Larkin out there for Team White. Here's Mata with a slap shot, low to the ice, sticked away by Billy Husso. Husso had some good numbers last year in the St. Louis Blues organization.
Very much so. He, 25-7 and something, and then stumbled a little bit in the playoffs and then had to go back in the playoffs and played really, really well.
Well, he was a part of that Blues Stanley Cup championship team. He didn't get in any games during that run, but he talked to us, Art, about how that experience taught him so much and how next time he's there, he said he wants to be in that game. He wants to play for the Stanley Cup even more so than before.
And we want him to be in red and white when he does play
Yes,
that
please.
in the Stanley Cup final.
Well, we talked about the forward positions and the depth, but you look at the blue line core, and there's some openings right now at the D position, and a guy like Edvinson could possibly make the club as Sider sends a backhand wide of the goal. Jake Wallman will be out till November as he is recovering from an injury, so there are some openings there on the blue line.
Yeah, Mark Pesic, too, is going to be out until sometime in January.
Right.
Icing called against Team Red. 15:05 to go here in the first half, and there's no score. 5 shots on goal to 4 here in the first half.
Just wanted to note that Mo Sider and Ben Sherratt, those of you watching have probably seen it, are being paired together. That's
Right.
another thing that we've talked about heavily, the stay-at-home style defenseman that Ben Sherratt is, and then Mo, a little more offensive, right, but still good in his own zone.
I'll tell you something right now, and I really wanted to lay off the Mo Sider love here, but that kid's amazing. He is
very
amazing. Even in this game, the way that he takes control of that puck and his instincts, and starts the play, and it was a great setup from Berggren with him in front of the net. I mean, Sider is impressive every time he's out on the ice. There, I said it.
What impressed you, Art, about Edvinson, Simon Edvinson, the way he's played?
The thing I like about Edvinson is what makes him an elite level player is his skating ability. For a man that size, he has a long stick, he has a long reach. his biggest thing, I think, his adjustment's going to be obviously to the North American, the smaller ice surface, but to play his game, his own game, and not get caught up in, comparisons to Mo Sider and what Mo was able to do.
Turnover right there, and Hirose with an opportunity. He's more of a passer than a shooter, but he got a good shot away, and Husso came up with a big save.
Husso's looked good.
Hirose's another guy that has bounced back and forth between Grand Rapids and Detroit, and he's one of those guys kind of on the bubble for this team.
Yeah, one of those tweener guys, probably a little too good for the AHL and still trying to find his way in the NHL.
One thing I noticed about Hirose is that the puck seems to follow him whenever he's out there on the ice.
Well, when he first got to Detroit, what was it, 10 points on the first 3 games or something? I mean, he was setting records right and left, but he was at the development camp the first year it was at Little Caesars Arena as an invitee. He was still a Michigan State Spartan, and he was by far the best player. I remember talking to Chris Draper specifically about it, and he earned himself a contract. Now, I don't know if Sean Horkoff had anything to do with that. Spartans watching out for Spartans, but Hirose has been a good addition to the Red Wings. Good, solid veteran now.
Giovanni Smith over the line. The play is offside. And Daniela and Art, there's another player that's kind of on the bubble trying to find his position on this team, Giovanni Smith.
Well, I think this is absolutely huge for Giovanni. I would expect him to be a bear to play against in these preseason games. He has to clear waivers. He isn't waiver exempt. So if he doesn't make the Red Wings, he could be claimed by another team.
To that note, I think I said earlier in the week that Joe Veleno would also have to clear waivers, and that is incorrect.
No.
He does not. He could go to Grand Rapids if that's what the team decides for him.
Right. He is. Yes, he's still waiver exempt, so they won't lose him.
New power back there for Team Red on the blue line. Luff along the boards. It's interesting they had him, Daniela, teamed up with some pretty good talent over the last couple of days on his team.
Yeah, they have. And I mean, that's a good sign for him, right? Being paired with some of the Red Wings' best talent. They must see it in him.
Dylan Larkin was one of those players that he was with.
Mm-hmm. Philip Zadina, I believe, too.
There's Jeremy Biakabatuka. I hope he's done enough to earn a contract.
I feel like he has.
He skates well.
He does. He's big. He's 6'3".
He seems to be really smart, too.
Right.
He makes the right decisions.
Well, you know my edict. Maybe no one will agree with me, but if you're not a smart hockey player, you're not going to play for the Red Wings.
Very true. Carly adds that he's very calm out there. She's down there watching ringside, and she notices it just like we do.
I like that he's a plus player. He was plus 29 last year in Charlottetown, and Dan Cleary went out and watched him play and said he was just terrific. So good signing by the Red Wings, and down the ice it goes. Actually, it wasn't a signing, but it's good to have him picked up and played here in the Prospects Tournament and now here at training camp. Icing called against Team Red.
A last-minute addition, too,
Yep.
Biakabatuka was. He was not on the roster as we were driving up to Traverse City, and then when we got the Prospect Tournament rosters, there he was, and hey, what a great last-minute addition and a great chance for him.
Well, from what I understand, when he was called up, the way he was darting through traffic is like his uncle darted through those Ohio State Buckeyes for 313 yards. I had to say it.
I set you up for that one, didn't
I
I?
know you
Art?
did. I know you did.
Well, we have 11:35 to go in the first period, and the first Michigan reference by Art Regner. So
Yeah,
I'm a little bit disappointed, Art. I thought maybe you'd get it in earlier.
Well, I'm trying to maintain some level of professionalism, at least for the first hour.
Great to have you here in Traverse City. The puck comes out to center ice.
Trust me, it's great to be here. I was really looking forward to this, and then unfortunately, I wasn't up here for most of the camp. But now being
this
back.
is like your Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I enjoy. How long have we been come up here?
Yeah.
Ken? 20 some odd years, right? So this is.
Camphor out the center ice, flips it forward, up to the Team Red blue line.
Great
Zarnik will pick
Wolverine
it
there.
up. Austin Zarnik, by the way, a little trivia note on him. He scored the first goal ever at Little Caesars Arena. Now, it was the preseason game when he was playing with the Boston Bruins, but the first goal ever was Zarnik, and he's out here trying to make the team.
Zarnik's one of those players, if he was like 3 inches taller, he'd be a perennial, I don't know, all-star, but he would be an everyday NHLer.
Saw a couple of good moves by Zarnik
Well, here's
in the
Edmondson.
practices as Edmondson moves in, tried to feed it out in front to Pew Suter, who was covered out in front of that Team Red goal.
I'm sorry, he made the team just from what that play. No, I'm overdoing it.
Edmondson hangs on to the puck, then it rolled off his stick. Hannes will pick it up, then he turns it over in the high slot. Suter to Perron, and he hit the crossbar.
Oh, but that's what he can do.
He picked the corner really
Yeah.
well there. He had Nedeljkovic beat, but just rang it off the bar. Carly Johnston has a note for us downstairs ringside. Carly, what do you got?
Yeah, that was a close one for net. I wanted to talk a little bit about the netminders. I know the shots on net on the board isn't really reflecting it, but this is a busy one for these goalies. As Ken mentioned, there are no power plays, so the goalies will be seeing penalty shots and that 5-minute shootout at the end. So it's a good look for Art to take a good look at Ville Husso.
That's my guy.
That's right. Ville Husso in net and Alex Nedeljkovic in net. Let's take another look, Ken, at that shot from Perron.
Boy, Perron can get it going in a hurry, kind of like Brett Hull, and he snapped that one from the inside rim of the circle and smacked that off the crossbar.
And that's exactly what we were talking about. His position in that area in front of the net. He's always there. He's able to find the openings. And like I said, a great shot that was just inches away from making this a 1-0 game.
And like a lot of veterans who are successful in the National Hockey League, David Perron, he knows, like you said, he knows where to be, but he's got a nose for the net. He is an outstanding talent. He's going to help the Red Wings offensively for sure. Quisqualo to pick it up, and he'll dump it up the right wing. Gustav Lindstrom pinches down low. And Lindstrom's another player that has elevated his game little by little each and every year.
That's right. And he's playing alongside Simon Edvinsson here today. At least we saw them paired for a little while there. And I like that, the two young guys. And Gus Lindstrom, like you said, has shown his improvement as the seasons go on.
Yeah, it's a big year for Gus, though,
Very
too.
big.
I
No,
mean,
very big. But again, we talk about the opportunities that are there because of Wallman's injury, because of Pesic being out until January. There is some room there for young guys like Gus.
Yeah, certainly. If I was Gus Lindstrom right now, I would be very encouraged that he has a real legitimate shot at being in the top 6.
Warad just moments ago belted in along the boards by Wyatt Newpower, the Team Red blue liner, as the puck comes out to center ice.
Ooh, that puck
Larkin will pick it up for Team White.
hit Vero, I think that was. Jumped up. Yeah, jumped up and hit Emil Vero in the mouth. Hopefully he kept his teeth on that one.
Play stopped off to the side of Alex Nedeljkovic. 8:42 to play. Scoreless tie in the first half of this red-white game in Traverse City. And this stream brought to you by Huntington Bank, and we thank you for tuning in. And you can't shoehorn another person in this arena. These fans up here, they
Really?
love their hockey here. They really do.
All right, Carly notified us Vero bleeding but staying on the bench. Why? Because he's a hockey player.
They're tough.
There's Michael Rasmussen striding in, circles the Team White goal. Bothered by Ben Sherratt, who throws him along the near side. Sherratt lost his stick in the process. Sherratt with a hit on Zadina. Zadina's looking for the license plate, and Larkin will scoop it up.
I like this line of Rasmussen, Verana, and Zadina. Certainly a big year for Zadina. The Red Wings rewarded him with a nice contract, a 3-year extension. So I think that he works. He works. You got to like that. And I still think his shot is exceptional. So hopefully Zadina will.
It's a big year for him,
around.
too. There's
Oh,
so
no
many
doubt.
players on this Red Wings roster that really do need to take that step forward this year. And under Coach Lalonde, it's a fresh start for all of them. Zadina is definitely one of those guys. And I think he's going to be paired with some really talented forwards this year. Not that he wasn't last year, but he's going to be better, and he's going to be in a better situation to improve.
And Daniela, you mentioned Derek Lalonde with a clean slate on everybody coming in, and it didn't matter what you did before or if there were any strikes or good things about you. He's wiped the slate clean, and he's going to evaluate you from day one.
That's right. The good and the bad. He's trying not to read too much into from the past. He wants this all to be a fresh start for every Red Wing.
No score. Soderblom for Team White drops it back. Centering attempt broken up by Hiroshi, and now Cross Hannes up the left wing. Had his pass knocked away. Les Bronx will scoop it up for Team White. Throw it over to Dominic Sabrango. Sabrango in over the blue line. Pushed it away from a defender. Kubalik after it for Team Red. Pumped it around the boards to Jared McIsaac. Up the left side for Smith, who shovels it out to center ice. Edmondson throws it into his own zone. Hustling after Kubalik. Moves into the circle, converging on him quickly. Pew Suter to knock the puck away. Sabrango finishes off. Giovanni Smith and along the corner with a check. Fighting for possession. That is Edvinson, who lays it forward to Perron. It comes off a skate and out to center ice.
Now, one player we haven't mentioned is up for a big year, and we obviously, because there's so much competition within the roster, is Adam Ernie, 73.
Here he comes.
He's got the puck. Ernie over the line. Put on the brakes. No flying there as he plays it to Perron in the left corner. Puck was knocked away. Giovanni Smith chips it up the right wing boards and back into the team white zone. Quick change for both of these clubs. Neither team has scored a goal here in the first half. Down to 6:09 to go as Tutayev will lift it.
There haven't been a lot of grade A scoring chances, though. I mean, this has been a tight checking, which I guess the Red Wings want to improve defensively. This is the type of game they want to see.
The best opportunity, I think, was Perron as he hit the crossbar.
Right.
Now Nedeljkovic with a poke check, a Johnny Bauer-style poke check there. Comes back to Biakatuka with a shot, and that went off a left stick and into the corner.
And I think the niftiest play was Berggren out to Mo in front of the net. Nifty.
Albert
I haven't used
Johansson.
that word since like 67.
Dominic
Thanks for bringing it
Shine
back.
trying to clean house. It comes back to Biakatuka at the blue line out of Tutayev between his skates to Vero. He whipped on it. Gets it again, though. Throws it left side to Warad, and he's checked in along the boards by Albert Johansson. Now Tutayev, he's a crafty player, moves it into the slot. Warad with a shot trying to pick the corner of the goal and fired it over the crossbar. He had a power play goal, Warad, in the Prospects tournament game against the Dallas Stars.
I watched that game. Great job.
Yeah, he was in good position in front of the net. It was a tip-in.
Here is Philip Roenick picking it up and moving it up to Verana.
Veronic also wearing an A, by the way. And
Oh,
so
that
is
he is.
Rasmussen.
That he is.
I just want to see what kind of numbers Verana puts up, especially if he plays an entire season. Last year he was injured for the first 3 quarters of the season, but really finished strong offensively.
I say low end 25, high end maybe 40.
Well, these Red Wings, I think they have some players on the team right now that can put some really good numbers up on the board offensively.
Yeah, mentioning Jacob Verana, Coach Lalone talked about him and just said that you appreciate his skill set from afar, but being in front of it, you appreciate it even more.
Larkin
goal.
with a backhand scores, and that'll give Team White the 1-0 lead with 4:17 to go in the first half.
Well, Team White was dominating the game early. Then Team Red kind of made their own push. And then White now, for the last 2-3 minutes, have really been the better team. And
Ooh,
it
they
paid
got
off
the
the
Hey
goal.
Hey Hockey Town going inside Center Ice Arena. And our captain, Dylan Larkin, fitting, he gets the first goal of this red and white game.
Good move from the bottom of the left circle to cut right out in front and flip a backhand in behind Nedeljkovic to give Team White the lead.
Well, that's the shot, boy. If you have a great backhander, who had a great backhander? A guy named Zetterberg, right? Pretty
that?
darn good.
Red Berenson had a good
Glendening
one, too.
did too, yeah. Oh yeah.
You went to
I
shake
think
hands
Red
with
had a pretty good backhand in his day too.
you went to shake hands with Red, and he'd give you the backhand. You shake hands with him.
That's right.
Well, the captain of the Red Wings, Dylan Larkin, to the delight of the crowd here with a goal to give Team White a 1-0 lead. Out to center, skates Robert Hagg, former Philadelphia Flyer defenseman, drops it back. Zarnik over the line, but the linesman whistles the play down. It's offside. Red Wings picking up some of those veteran blue liners. You mentioned Robert Hagg, and he's one of them that probably could jump up and down between the American League and the Red Wings.
Want to mention to fans that are tuning into our stream today, you have a chance all day today to buy tickets to single games on the Red Wings website and no fees. It is the no fees for single game tickets flash sale, and it is through today, Sunday, September 25th. So check that out because it's going to be an exciting year at Little Caesars Arena. We want to see you all down there for at least one game, at least.
Puts a little more money in your pocket, right?
Yeah, that's right.
1-0 lead. Larkin with the goal. Smith, he has been clipped with a high stick. Edvinson checking in on him, and Smith looks like he's okay as he heads over to the Team Red bench.
Wincing a little as he gets off. He fell a little awkwardly. We'll hope that he's okay to return to this game.
We want to come away unscathed as far as injuries in this red-white game. We've got a penalty call coming up right now. High sticking, and we'll see a penalty shot.
That's right. Again, the rules, we'll see a penalty shot and then a face-off in the offensive zone for the team that would technically be on the power play.
I believe this was because of the high stick Edmondson on Giovanni Smith. So Team Red will have an opportunity to tie it up here on the penalty shot.
Let's see who our penalty shooter
Should it be
is going to
Giovanni?
be. It should be, but is he all right?
There he comes. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
of course.
good.
He got right up. I mean, he wanted no part of Edmondson. It's like, listen, dude, I can get up my own. Don't
Right,
even
Smith
check
on the
me.
power or on the penalty shot, brings it up across the line. He's working in on Billy Huso. Smith moves in, he fakes, he shoots, he scores.
Oh, nice
nice move, and he flipped it into the corner. Look at that celebration. And the crowd loves it.
Hey,
Game tied 1-1.
That
Giovanni
was
has
quite a move.
skills, and he has nice hands. He always has.
Well, he's one of those players that we talk about that really has to earn that roster spot and that playing time. He's going to take every opportunity to show off in front of the staff, in front of the fans, and prove that he belongs on this roster. That was a great move.
He had Huso moving from his right to his left that time and then tucked it in the far corner. So we've got 2:41 to play in the first half here. We're playing 2 halves of 25 minutes each, and it's a 1-1 tie. Larkin scoring for Team White and Giovanni Smith with the penalty shot. A costly high sticking penalty to Edmondson of Team White as the puck comes back towards the line. New Power with a shot that's blocked in the slot.
See, the white team gets a little bit of momentum here, or I mean, the red team. Johansson.
Throws it back on the line to Wyatt Newpower to Johansson. Down low, a centering attempt, and that one was knocked away. That was Piercy who was trying to send it across. Thought maybe there for a moment he was going to shoot. He elected to pass, and it was broken up. Yakabatuka picking it up for Team White. Game tied 1-1. Now to Dylan Larkin. Up across the line, makes his way into the right circle. Trying to fend off 3 defenders. Rolls it around the boards. Ben Sherrod in deep. Scooping it up, brings it back to the line. Now it's intercepted, and Olimata brings it out to center. Quick feed to Zadina. Carries over the blue line, cuts inside between defenders, passes it across.
Oh, nice
and
play.
knocked away right there. That was a good opportunity and a good play by Philip Zadina.
Very good instincts there.
Mo Sider on the attack. Time winding down, minute 20 to go. Game tied 1-1, fairly evenly paced, they're evenly played period. Zadina back over the line, behind the back feed. Here's Michael Rasmussen, right side, calling for the shot, Verana. And did that puck go in, or was the goaltender? Nope, the goaltender made the save.
Huso says, not so fast, Mr. Cal.
So Rasmussen, we look at the replay, had a good opportunity to poke one home, and Huso made the save. And then just moments ago, another shot right there by Verana, who can fire him with the best of them from that point on the ice. And good save by Billy Huso.
Really, I think both goaltenders have acquitted themselves quite nicely.
Well, this is a chance for them to kind of get into game shape, right? They face shots all week long, but not game action.
Team Red coming on. Here is Hiroshi with another opportunity, and that one knocked away by Billy Huso again. So after that penalty shot goal by Giovanni Smith, Team Red stepping it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hiroshi handles it again.
Certainly, they have dictated the pace of play and puck possession.
Camphor with L'Esperance up across the line. L'Esperance could not handle the puck. Hiroshi banged it forward. It comes out to Edmondson. Big, tall defender for Team White wearing uniform number 3 as Perron steps out onto the ice as well. Soderblom trying to make his way through traffic. McIsaac calmly steals the puck, rolls it up the right side to Giovanni Smith. Smith moves in with a wrist shot. Huso made the save.
Giovanni feeling it, you can tell.
Now David Perron with the outlet feed, tapped it up the left wing boards and out of harm's way as the puck slides into the Team Red zone with 7 seconds to go. Game tied 1-1. Chris Qualo with a check on Edmondson. Edmondson lifted it up the glass, out to center, and the first half comes to an end, and the game is tied 1-1.
So now we will see a 3-man shootout to end this half. I don't know, guys. Are they going to count these goals towards the score of the game?
Maybe who gets one will get another goal. It'll be 2-1, one team, I would assume.
Now, what are your thoughts about the first half of play here?
I like the pace.
Yes, the energy was great, and that's something that we've been talking about throughout camp, the energy that is brought by this team, and it looks a little new. It looks a little refreshing, and we're seeing that here in the red and white game today. before we get started on the shootout, wanted everybody to know that, yes, you can get your single game tickets today, but you can also become a member of Wing Wheel Nation. Those memberships are on sale now. You can enjoy year-round benefits, including flexible payment plans. You get great VIP events and multiple membership types that fit your specific needs. So visit DetroitRedWings.com/WingWheelNation for more. Here goes Zadina.
Phillip picks it up, makes his way in between the rings, fakes the backhand to the forehand, and standing tall move right there was Billy Husso with a save.
Husso just followed him all the way, was down low on the ice, and just caught it with his pad.
Larkin looking for his second goal. Here he comes.
Well, if I know Ned, he's going to stop him.
Over the line, slows it down, shoots, and that one ends up off the end glass. No good. Again, our goaltenders for Team Red is Alex Nedeljkovic, and for Team White, Billy Husso. Barana now will try for Team Red. Picks it up, goes way wide, almost to the right wing boards, cuts inside the middle of the ice, makes his way in, stick handle, shoots a backhand, and floated it wide to the goal.
Oh, yeah, it was a nice move, though.
It's like one of those Datsuk moves where you fake the goaltender, you softly put it over his shoulder into the net.
Yeah, Marty Turco can attest to that.
There's Raymond. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way in. He shoots and hammers it off the left goal post. He had the goaltender beat, Nedeljkovic, but hammered it off that left post.
And in Ned's mind, that was a good save. Thank you, goal post.
Post was his best friend on
That's
that
right.
play, right?
So far, the goaltenders have had the advantage. Here's Kubalik making his way in. 30 goal scorer 1 year. He makes his way in. He shoots. He
nice
scores.
shot.
He picked the net just inside the right goal post, and he's all smiles as he scores for Team Red on the penalty shot.
It was a similar shot to what we just saw Lucas Raymond do. Lucas Raymond obviously rang it off the post, but it was similar.
Here's David Perron. Let's see what he does. He shoots, and Nedeljkovic makes the save.
Look at Ned.
Celebrate, Ned.
He stopped them all, so reason to celebrate. That was that Giovanni Smith move, I think, as far as a celebration move.
And Ned exchanging pleasantries with his teammates. So I don't know if it counts or not, but they won the shootout.
Now we'll take a short break and we'll have another 25-minute half to play.
Interesting way to end a half there with the shootout. I think the fans still enjoy that part of the red-white game.
Well, it's a lot of high-end talent. I mean, I think that's, the guys that participated in the shootout are who the fans are here to watch.
Right.
And so
Question for you guys. Do you
good.
think we will see the other goaltenders in the second half? We have Sebastian Kosa, who is on Team White, and then Yusi Okanura is
Yes.
on Team Red. So we'll see.
I would assume so, yes.
Yes, Sebastian Kosa had a great prospect tournament, and we'll talk more about that goaltending matchup after this. Carly Johnston is joined by a special guest right now. I think they're ready to go.
Yep, we're here. Can you hear?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, go take it away.
All right, we're all set here. Giovanni Smith with that lone goal for Team Red, that penalty shot. That was a nice move you had there. What did you see on that?
I just saw the goalie in the net and just tried to make a quick move, and then, just
Had the blinders
started
on.
on that.
the
Yeah,
goalie in the
exactly.
net.
Yeah, just trying to score the goal.
That was fantastic. How is it feeling out there? How different is it playing against your teammates, and how's the chemistry out on the ice? I know a few of them are new. You guys have had practices in this week, but you guys a lot of new players on this team.
Yeah, it feels kind of weird playing scrimmages because you don't want to hurt the guys or anything. You want to go too hard and injure your own teammates. But it's good practice to get ready for the preseason and to go into the season.
To that, it has been quite a physical game. I know you guys kind of let up on each other,
Yeah.
but how do you kind of walk on that line of being physical and showcasing that aspect of your game, but not hurting your teammates, I guess?
I mean, for me, it's a little bit different. You know how I play. I play a pretty mean and heavy game.
Yeah.
So right now, I just want to work on getting to those areas, and if guys are left open, I'm not gonna finish them completely, but show them that I'm there to let them know that hey, may not be me coming, but someone else will definitely come and get you.
I love it. All right, you took that high stick by Simon Evanson. How are
Yeah.
you feeling after that?
Well,
You
it
weren't
kinda
about
hurt
to drop
for-
the fist against it.
I was pissed, honestly. I was about to get up and swing at him, but they called a penalty on it. I got a penalty shot, so the goal made up for it.
Exactly.
So I'm feeling much better.
after that penalty shot, you had a good chance. So good looks on that. Keep
Thank
that
you.
up. You spent quite some time in your own zone this half. How are you going to change that in the second half?
I guess just playing simple, follow the structure that we got going for us, and just play simple, play predictable, and simple hockey is good hockey, easier for everyone, and just makes it fun to watch for everyone too.
It is a lot of fun to watch. Appreciate the entertainment. Thanks so much for joining us, and
No
good luck in
problem.
the second half.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Carly, and a big thank you to Giovanni. All right, he didn't like the high stick from Simon
You
Edmondson.
could tell right away. Edmondson wanted to check on him. It was unintentional, and Giovanni didn't want any part of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm thankful he did not drop the gloves. Thank you, Giovanni. Although fans may have liked to see a fight here today.
I think if he would have dropped the glove with Simon Edmondson, he would have been called into the principal's office, and the principal's office is Steve Eiserman's office, and you do not want to go in there. So, cooler heads prevailed on that one.
All right, guys, we'll take a quick break in just a second. But to wrap up our thoughts, I have a good question on Twitter from Wing Waddle, at Wing Waddle. He asked, who is a surprise player from each squad today through camp so far? So who do you guys like on Team Red and Team White? Ken, why don't you start us off?
Oh, boy. The veterans, I think, have really stood out in
Right,
this,
they
in this
have.
so far. Dylan Larkin on Team White obviously scored a goal, but it was a pretty good force there for Team White. And as for Team Red, early on I thought Taro Hirose actually had a good scoring chance, and he was involved in a lot of the play. And Kubalik had a good opportunity, but again, I just think the veteran players have been terrific here in the first half.
Art, who do you like?
Well, I'll tell you, I thought the best play that was made, and it didn't result in a goal, was what Jonathan Berggren did
It
in
was
the
a great
corner
play.
and saw Mo Sider, who pinched in. The instincts, the chemistry between them, I really watched that. I'm real interested in Berggren because I do know, and I've told this story many, many times, when the Red Wings drafted Zadina, at number 30, they were pegged and ready to go with Berggren. But Joe Veleno fell all the way down to 30, who was supposed to go right around 15, 16 in his draft class. So they took Veleno, and then the Red Wings were hoping that Berggren would still be there, and that 2 or 3 picks later, I think it was like, very high second-round pick, he was there. So he is a player that has been on their radar for a long, long time. He had a little bit of an injury bug issue. And then I think what he did in Grand Rapids, especially in the second half last year, where he came on and set the Griffin scoring record for a rookie, which is impressive considering the roster that Grand Rapids has had over their long and illustrious history. So I really like Berggren. I'm really interested to see what he can do. He could be, I guess, hey, dark horse candidate, but I mean, he certainly is somebody that I like. And, I just have to say, Mo Sider is just an amazing player.
Yeah, Mo Sider has been great
just
here
amazing.
today. That's no surprise, though. Mo Sider has been great here today.
But he picks up right where he left off
Yeah.
and only gets better, which is, again, shall I say it, amazing.
I really like what we've seen from Giovanni Smith, too. Obviously, Carly just got to chat with him. He was able to convert on that penalty shot opportunity, but he's had a couple of other chances throughout the game, and he plays that tough style, and he needs to have a good red and white game. He needs to have a good preseason to try to solidify that spot on the Red Wings roster. So I like the way that he's come out here today.
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And in my forwards of
what?
12, I definitely have Giovanni making the team as a fourth liner. I think you're really going to see him. And I think you saw it. The one thing, because he does play a hard, heavy, physical game, is that he doesn't get enough credit for the soft hands that he has and tip-ins, and he does have offensive ability. Sometimes he gets caught up in the histrionics of the game. But I think Smith, and he realizes it. I mean, it's no secret. What I'm saying, I'd say to his face. I mean, he's got to show it.
Yeah.
This is it. I mean, because I'm afraid, and this is just me, and I have no inside information or anything, if Giovanni has to clear waivers, I'm afraid he's not going to be a Red Wing. I think someone will take him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that intriguing of a player.
All right, we'll set up for the second half in just a few minutes. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
The Red Wings are revving up for the next season by adding some new fuel.
Catch a hard hit from Sherratt to Hartman, rebound. Oh, what a save! Here's a chance for New York, and they score! And Andrew Kopp's having a big night. Down to the net, Bronchus, and he scores! Unbelievable!
No fees flash sale ends Sunday. Go to DetroitRedWings.com/tickets.
so much for letting me show you around the city. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we saw a lot.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fun.
Yeah. All right. So we're back at the arena. I know you guys have some training to do, so I'll meet you guys at that. I'll see you in a couple weeks for training camp.
All right. Well, we just saw an exciting video that was promoting our red and white, or I'm sorry, not our red and white, our 25th anniversary celebrations at Little Caesars Arena this year. On November 3rd and November 5th, we will be celebrating the 1997 and 1998 Stanley Cup championship teams. And I know a lot of alumni are going to be in town to celebrate that weekend with us.
Right. Originally, the game on November 5th for the 98 team was going to be a night game, but it's now an afternoon game at 1 o'clock. And I just have to publicly thank the 98 guys, because that's my birthday, is that Saturday on November 5th. And the fellas said, well, we're only going to show up if we celebrate Art's birthday. So thanks, guys.
So not only is it celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Stanley Cup Championships, it's celebrating Art's 25th birthday.
It's ironic. The way, you know, I remember covering that 98 team, and I was a mere infant. But, you know, it'll be great. It's going to be a great celebration. I mean, those teams are historic. I mean, that was the beginning of, I think, an era in Detroit professional sports history where those teams were iconic all the way up through. They should have won it in 2009. You know, Gary Bettman screwed them with that schedule. I still say that. But anyway, I'm just saying that era is really, when you look at historic Detroit teams, regardless if they're Red Wings, Pistons, Lions, or Tigers, that collection of Red Wings, they are immortals, as I like to say. That team was high-end. Those guys are great. They deserve November 3rd. They deserve November 5th, and so much more. We can never give back to the joy and memories that they have provided for us. I mean, first cup in 42 years, you know. I mean, I know Ken remembers, you know, that 42 years when they won it, you know, before 97. You know, he was, you know, a young broadcaster, you know, in the crib.
Still is a young broadcaster. What do you mean?
Calling games, but seriously, I mean, it was just a wonderful time. And I cannot believe, I don't know, Ken, how you feel. I can't believe it was 25 years ago.
Yeah, it goes by in a hurry, doesn't it? And so many great players on those teams that we'll see coming back. And it just reminds me back in the 50s when the Howes and Delvecchios and Lindsays, after they were done and they were winning Stanley Cups, 20 years later, they had reunions. And, you know, it's hard to believe right now that all these guys that won in 97, 98, 25 years ago and 24 years ago, that they're coming back.
It's cool. A lot of them, not all of them are involved in the organization per se. A lot of them are, but some of them are just still around Detroit. You see them all the time. Darren McCarty's always around. It's great to see those guys still here in the community.
And what is also amazing is that Nick Lidstrom can still play. He could still play. I mean, he says he can't.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know if he'd agree with that.
I told him, I've always joked with him and said, hey, look, can't you just sit on the bench and not even play? But as long as the other team knows there's a possibility you could go out there. But
Art, you mentioned Nicholas Lidstrom, and here's a point about him is that how great is it to have guys like Mo Sider and Edmondson on this team, and when they ever have a question, all they got to do is pick up the phone and talk to one of the greatest defensemen of all time, Nick Lidstrom, about their game, and even Nicholas Kronwall, who was a terrific player for so many years.
Right, yeah,
that's a bonus.
Both of them, yeah, that's exactly right. And what Nick and also Kroner are doing in Sweden with the European Red Wings, and there's an abundance of them, because you will hear every European Red Wing prospect will talk about the impact that Nick and especially Nicholas Kronwall have had on them.
Well, it's interesting, too, because they're two very different defensemen, both great defensemen, but when you look at the way Nick Lidstrom played compared to Nick Kronwall, you're probably getting a different set of advice from two guys with a different skill set. So I think it's very beneficial to our prospects.
Right, you get Kronwall, and then on Nick, you think you have the puck on your stick, and he's moving up ice, and you're thinking you're making a play. It's like playing air guitar, you know?
There you go.
It's like air puck. Where is it?
Yeah, we have two different goaltenders now, and Sebastian Cosa is in replacing Billy Huso in Team White's net, and in Team Red, limbering up in the end to our right, UC Okanora, and he will be tending goal for Team Red.
Ken, we got to see Sebastian Cosa in the prospect tournament. He played half of 2 games and only let in 1 goal. He looked really sharp and really confident.
Yeah, he did, and I think he needed that too because he wanted to show the management staff that he's ready. He's ready for a position.
Well, I think Griffin fans, there's a lot of competition in net for the Red Wings, but this could be your goaltending tandem this season.
Rasmussen with a shot right circle, and the first test right there for Sebastian Cosa, and he makes a glove hand save.
We'll see how, Cosa needs to build off a good prospects tournament. By his own admission, he has not been happy with his prospects tournament and last year in training camp. And, but he really has turned it around a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see how he performs in this half.
Game tied 1-1. They did not count the shootout goal, so it's a 1-1 tie. Larkin scoring for Team White and Giovanni Smith for Team Red.
Yeah, they've informed Giovanni that is a malfunction of the scoreboard. The goal did count. So.
Well, it was Kubalik that scored during the shootout, the goal that didn't count.
You mentioned Kubalik. He had 30 goals one year with the Chicago Blackhawks.
That he did. He's tapered off a little bit. He had 7.
Smith's goal did count. That's exactly
what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Smith, he was confused. Art was confused for a second there. I got him on track, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, but
we're working on it.
I am definitely in a fog.
Yeah, he's a little rusty.
I'm in the fog. Trust me. I know.
He's a little rusty. But going back to Kubalik, he scored 17 goals in his second year, 15 in his third. They're hoping they can get him back up closer to that 30 mark here in Detroit.
Well, I had to tell Dominic, I had to drop him on my fantasy team, and it was a tough move, but I had to do it.
Here's Adam Ernie coming out of the pile. Worked it in front, a one-time shot. Going down on one knee, Pew Suter, and he had the opportunity, but that one just wide to the right goal post. Gustav Lindstrom throws it across. Simon Edvinsson makes his way into the corner. Guarding him is Hiroshi. David Perron out of the blue line, Lindstrom. Back to Perron, throws it into the corner. Lindstrom moves in with a snapshot, save made. Okanura comes back towards the line. Perron holds it in. Gustav Lindstrom in front, and a chance by Adam Ernie. It's loose off to the side. Okanura is down and out in that goal crease. He lost his blocker. He lost his stick. Now he picks it up as the play continues.
Dare I say he did a Hasek down on that on that save?
Kind of looked like Charlie Brown in there, losing everything. Right?
That's exactly right. That fastball came right back at him.
22:35 to go. We are in the second half in case you just tuned into our stream, and we welcome you. Stream presented by Huntington Bank. 1-1 tie. Larkin scoring for Team White and Giovanni Smith for Team Red. Here's Tutayev with a shot from the top of the right circle. Okanura with the save, and the rebound comes out to center ice, and Biaka Batuka will throw it across.
Tutayev, one of the stars last year here up in training camp, then got hurt, only played 9 games for the Griffins. I think, under contract at Grand Rapids, I think they're expecting a lot from him. He has great offensive ability and instincts.
Here's Dominic Shine trying to come in. Good play by Biaka Batuka to get that stick out to knock the puck away from Shine.
Kenny, I was going to ask you, what are your impressions of Biaka Batuka? I think he looked pretty good.
He was +3 in one of those prospect tournament games, and what I liked about him, he was good with his first pass out of his own zone, and again, he has that ability to skate the puck. He's not a bad skater out there. Larkin drops it back, and Vero is on the ice on a change.
I wonder why he doesn't wear number, what was his uncle, 21?
You're supposed to know that, Art. Don't look at us for that.
Well, Michigan retires so many numbers because they've had so many great players. It's tough to...
Got it.
Tim deserves it, too. That Ohio State game alone.
Biaka Batuka cleaning house right there as he knocked down Rasmussen at the blue line. And Rasmussen comes in with a check on Biaka Patuka to say don't do that again as it comes out to center ice. Rasmussen shovels it across. Verana in over the blue line to Zadina.
I think when you look at Rasmussen's game, the one thing that I've noticed right away is that his skating has improved immensely. Immensely.
I'd like to see him get going on the power play if he gets some power play time. That was his bread and butter in junior.
Well, his hand-eye coordination in front of the net is second to none.
Game tied 1-1, 20:52 to play, second half here in the red-white game, the annual red-white game. Big crowd here at Center Ice Arena. Puck along the boards. Larkin trying to move away from Rasmussen. Real game action. I think Larkin would have got pasted in along the boards there, but he kind of held up a little bit as Zadina brings it forward. Now to Jacob Verana. Over the line, shoots a wrist shot in on goal, and the save made by Sebastian Kosa.
Guys, there was an interesting question on the YouTube channel from the Grindline podcast. Shout out to those guys. They're great. Love joining their podcast. Very smart and love the Red Wings. But they asked, how stacked are the Griffins going to be this season? And I think that's something we are not talking about, just how good Grand Rapids is going to be. We're going to have to make the point to get down there a few times, or over there a few times, I should say.
Well, I had Ben Simon on the Red and White Authority podcast this week. Talked to him last Tuesday, and you could tell he's pretty excited. I mean, the Griffins are going to be stacked, and if whenever the Red Wings go on a long road trip, I'll usually go with the boss man, Andrew Krisnoff. We'll go to Grand Rapids and watch them. It is going to be great hockey, high-end hockey, great staff down there, and truly, Van Andel Arena, a nice place to go and watch, and they're going to be good. They're going to be good. They are going to be stacked, and, a lot of it, we don't know how stacked they're going to be because some of these guys could actually make the Red Wings.
That's right.
I know one person's going to be happy about that is the Griffins broadcaster, Bob Kaiser.
Oh,
who
yeah,
is
he is.
just
He's
excited about
here.
all the youngsters that'll be playing for the Griffins this year.
Yeah, they're going to be good. Didn't make the playoffs last year, right on the cusp. This year, different story.
You guys see that play from Edvinsson there, making things happen. He threaded two offensemen to find that pass there. That was beautiful.
And Murray throws it to the line. Here's Edvinsson from the middle of the line. Rising shot. Uh-oh, that one hit Hag right in the head, I believe.
Well, I'll tell you, Edvinson's not endearing himself to his teammates.
We mentioned right in the first shift of the game, Hag fell awkwardly in along the end boards. Came back on the next shift, and this one took it right off the side of the face or the helmet right there.
He's bleeding.
And he went over to the players' bench there.
Definitely shaken up. It looked like he had a hard time.
When you get hit in the side of the head like that, yeah, sometimes you're a little bit wobbly, and we'll try to take a look at the replay here as that puck was shot from the blue line that hit Robert Hag right out in front.
Yeah, it was a high-rising shot. And what was interesting is Jacob Verana, because Edvinsson's a little bit upset now. He certainly did not want to high-stick Giovanni Smith, and then obviously with what happened to Robert Hag.
Well,
and Verana went over there and just kind of tapped him and said, hey, it's cool. Don't worry about it. This is...
it's hockey.
Yeah, it's hockey, and, you're not intentionally out there to do those things, but it happens. And so I just think a nice move there by Verana to settle the youngster down.
You get hit around the temple area like that, you kind of lose your equilibrium.
Exactly,
and it looked like Robert Hag tried to get up a little bit, and then he just lost it and went down. But managed to skate to the bench on his own power. We certainly hope he's okay, and maybe Carly can get a report down there. Play stopped inside the Team Red zone. 1-1 tie, 19:40 to play here in the second half.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what's going on right now, but it looks like the boys are getting a little chippy with one another.
Started with Rasmussen and Biaka Patuka checking each other in the corner. David Perron will sweep it over to Edvinsson. Now to Gustav Lindstrom, back to Edvinsson. Kubalik for checking.
I think Edvinsson's going to play the entire game. Seems to be out there a lot.
Jared McIsaac tried to float the pass ahead. It's off a stick. McIsaac's second effort. Up the left wing, checked it along the boards, manages to get it out to center ice, and Perron to dump it across. Edvinsson loses an edge. Kubalik steals. He marches in. He shoots the puck, and that's deflected off a stick and wide of the goal.
Kosa, a big netminder. He doesn't give you much to shoot at. Proved it there.
Look at Perron just manhandling Chris Squalo a little bit there, pushing him off the puck as they regroup. Team White in their own end. Strong player on his skates, David Perron, as it comes out to center ice. Johansson drops it back.
outstanding signing by the Wings. He's really going to pay off.
We heard the news about Andrew Kopp, who will be out of action until hopefully the opener. As the puck goes back into the Team Red zone. Center out in front. Luke with a shot. He scores.
Very nice play there, too.
Matt Luff right out in front with the shot to make it 2-1 Team White.
One of the guys we're talking about, the Griffins, he'll definitely be there.
Yeah, Matt Luff actually had some time to skate. Tyler Bertuzzi missed a couple of days of practice during training camp, so Matt Luff was skating with Dylan Larkin. He was out there on the team with Lucas Raymond, Philip Zadina, so he got some of that high-end work throughout the week, and it's showing here.
Luff out there with Tutayev and Warad, and it's 2-1 Team White with the lead. This is their second lead of the game.
Well, all the Red Wings signings, we talk about, obviously we've expounded on several of them, but everybody that they have signed is a good pro, has good numbers, very professional, and you need that too in GR because the team's going to be full of high-end prospects, but you're going to be guys down there that are going to be good mentors for them. So things really looking up for the organization, just with the influx of talent on the big club and also in GR. And don't forget, I have to say it, don't forget those walleye.
Running from the line with a shot and trying to redirect in front was Piercy. Another opportunity off to the side of the goal. Team Red coming on here, trying to get back into this one. They trail by one. Rasmussen backhands it in the slot. Intercepting it is Warad, and he will dump it off the boards out to the Team Red blue line. Warad, I believe, picked up an assist on that goal by Luff just moments ago. Here's Zadina, twisting and turning, going deeper into the zone. Cuts inside with a move. Back out towards the high slot. Passed it over. Roenick's shot was blocked. There's a couple nifty moves right there.
And Zadina we know he has talent, he has skill. Just has to put it together.
Maybe being a little bit older, too, and wiser helps him out a little bit as Sherratt moves in with a shot, a wrister wide of the goal.
Yeah, probably a little bit of a humbling experience last couple of years for him.
Marana with a centering attempt, broken up by Larkin out in front. Now here comes Mo Sider out to center ice. On the attack, lugs the puck, backhands it in around the boards. The goaltender, Okanuro, plays it around the right side. Here is Raymond, dumping it down low into the corner, and now chipped away. Zarnik. Down the ice it goes, and this will be an icing call against Team Red. 16:35 to play. We're in the second half, and it's a 2-1 lead for Team White.
We've got another look at the goal from Matt Luff to take the 2-1 lead. There's a pretty shot and setup.
Yeah, Ward behind the net found him in the slot there, and he buried it.
Really, just a really nice play. We've seen some nice plays, especially by Team White down low from behind the net, hitting the man in front. So pretty impressive. I think overall, just watching this, you can tell that the talent level and skill level on the Red Wings has been elevated this season. This is a little bit different brand of hockey than maybe we're used to seeing. Kosa coming over, nice play there. Kosa going side to side.
Now they battle for it in the corner, and that is Dominic Sabrango. A couple years in GR Art as he tried to work it free.
Right, one thing that, he didn't have a place to play when the OHL shut down due to COVID, and if they were going to open up, I can remember Ben Simon telling me, God, nothing against the Kitchener Rangers, but Sabrango's really acquitting himself, and he was a teenager playing the AHL, which doesn't happen very often.
Play back in behind the Team White goal. Looking on Sebastian Kosa as Gustav Lindstrom gets it ahead to Pius Suter over on the left side to Edvinsson. You're right, Art. He's logged a lot of ice time in this game.
Really?
They want to get a good look at him in all situations.
Definitely.
I would imagine out of the 8 preseason games, we'll probably see him in at least 5, maybe 6.
I was thinking 6.
Kubalik down the right side, moves in with a shot off the outside of the right goal post, and that rebound goes into the protective netting, and he's had his opportunities. He did score on a penalty shot in the at the end of the first half, but that was a good opportunity right there.
Yeah, we talk about him being able to score 30 goals a season as he did his rookie year. You take a look at how he ends up with the shot here, and another one that just rings off the post.
No, I think a goaltender would tell you, well, of course it's ringing off the post because I'm positionally sound, so they're not going to score. I mean, the post comes into my train thought as a goaltender.
Well, Kubalik has a shot, and we have seen that.
Yeah, the posts are the goaltender's best friend, right? As Smith fires a shot right circle. Save made by Sebastian Kosa. Another goaltender who played well in the Prospects tournament for the Red Wing is Bednar.
Yeah,
Jan
he did.
Bednar.
Yeah, he did. He also played 2 halves. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess it is. He played half of 2 games.
That second one, I think he faced 19 shots, and he was peppered, did not allow a goal.
No, he was very, very good. Watching from the comforts of my living room.
Now here's Raymond stealing the puck, strides over the blue line, drops it back. Dylan Larkin with a shot off the stick of Spezia, and that one ends up in the protective netting. Red Wings open the season against the Montreal Canadiens on October the 14th at Little Caesars Arena, and we're all excited about that, and that's only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, that's right. Opening night is always a fabulous night at Little Caesars Arena. We have the red carpet celebration, and the crowds have been excellent at Little Caesars Arena. Not even just opening night, all season long. It's been excellent. We hope you guys can get out to opening night or another game throughout the season.
Well, there's a lot of buzz surrounding this Red Wing team. People are eager to see this team take the next step, and certainly they have really, I think, are going to make a move and let's hopefully challenge for a playoff spot.
They're in a tough division. They're in a tough conference, the Eastern Conference in general.
I mean, you've got to look at it like Florida, Tampa, and Toronto, even though Toronto will never win a cup, is that they're going to be the top 3 teams. So they've got the 3 automatic berths, and then you have a bunch of teams vying for the 2 wild card spots. Detroit's certainly in that mix.
That's right. They're going to be competing this year. It's going to be fun to see them against some of those teams that are in the Eastern Conference.
Good defensive play moments ago by Lucas Raymond as he had the puck stolen from him, but managed to get back and steal the puck away. And that's one thing I think we're going to see a lot from this Red Wing team is improved play, especially in the neutral zone. Here's a shot, and they score. Team Red, Zadina with the feed, and I believe Verano's the man that put that puck in.
Well, a great play. Osterley actually made that play, carried it in, gave it to Zadina. He makes a play to Verana, and really not much that Sebastian Kosa could do on that. Just a great, great play. Spearheaded by Jordan Osterley.
Well, and this is what we've seen out of Jacob Verana, too, a pure goal scorer. He gets a hold of that puck in that position. He's not missing from there. So, great play. It was a great play from Zadina and Verana.
I can tell you this, Danielle and Art. Kosa has not seen shots like that.
No.
In the OH or the
WHL.
Yeah.
Well, it's the old expression, Dorothy, we're not in Kansas anymore, boom.
You know what's interesting is this is Verana's first red and white game as a Red Wing because he's been injured for 2 seasons. So it's exciting. He gets that full year, that full experience. It's going to be noticeable that he's going to add to the Red Wings and add to the goal scoring.
Right, just a comfort level and getting used to this environment. You're absolutely right. This is a great venue for this team to come up here at the start of training camp and bond.
Right.
Great experience, too, for a young netminder like Kosa to see those types of shots as the puck is along the left side of the ice right now. Game tied 2-2. Twice Team Red has come from behind to cut the deficit as Zarnik up the right wing. Drops it back now to Hiroshi. Pulls the trigger. Rebound. Hannah scores.
Well, rebound right there. Again, initial save made by Kosa, but Hannes was right there. Nothing he could do. Wide open net.
We haven't talked much about Cross Hannes, who had a really good prospect tournament as well. He had 4 points in 3 games. Ken, we talked about his ability to make things happen, especially on the power play. He was a great penalty killer, but he always seemed to be involved in the offensive play, and it was no different right there.
I noticed, like, really good players, sometimes they're held off the scoreboard, but at the end of the night, you look at the score sheet, and they're +2 or, 1 goal, 1 assist, and somehow they find a way to get the job done. And Hannes, Johnny on the spot. You got to be there in front. You got the garbage and put it in.
Yep.
And another guy who is going to be on the Griffins this year, most likely. And, certainly, we were asked that question. Cross Hannes is one of the guys. And who knows, depending on how he does the AHL level, maybe we see him a little bit in Detroit, depending on the injury situation.
Yeah, well, he put up big numbers in the WHL in Portland last season. So they expect big things out of him in Grand Rapids, too. And like I said, at the prospect tournament, he really showed out. And now he adds a goal in the red and white game just to further solidify that he belongs at that next level in Grand Rapids.
First lead of the game for Team Red. Puck comes back out towards center ice, and Pius Suter will lay it ahead. And now Lindstrom stopped as he tried to make it over the Team Red line. Kubalik quickly ahead of Chris Qualo. Tried to center it out in front. Suter coming back defensively to knock that puck away.
Pius Suter, another Red Wing that I'm sure wants to up his offensive numbers from last year. Showed streaks and really improved on the faceoffs too.
Suter over the blue line with Adam Ernie this time. Roenick stole the puck, did not clear it out. It's loose to the side of the net. Kanura looking on from a kneeling position. Out in front of the net, it comes out Kubalik at center, now to Giovanni Smith. Drops it back to the trailer, Olli Mata. Well-traveled defenseman in the National Hockey League, Mata.
Mata, when he broke in with Pittsburgh, I can remember that he and Chris Letang were going to be their 1-2 guys for decades, and obviously Letang, it speaks for himself what he's been able to do. But Mata, not a bad player in his own right. We're looking for a good rebound year. He's a little disappointed with his performance last year in LA, and expect him to have a good season.
Danny DeKaiser getting a professional tryout with the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, we wish him the best, obviously. Danny, great Red Wing, native Detroiter. Just, that back injury really robbed him of some of his skill set, but he was able to persevere and fight through it, and hopefully he is a Canuck.
Yep. Team Red leading by a goal. Biaka Matuka with a shot through traffic, knocked down right out in front of Team Red's net. The puck is shot into the Team Red players' bench along the near side. 10:31 to go, second half. It's a 3-2 lead for Team Red. Smith,
Really good
Verana,
pace.
and Hannes, the goal scorers for Team Red. In case you're just tuning in, Larkin and Luff for Team White.
I expect White to make a push right now. 10:31 here.
Starting goaltenders, Nedeljkovic for Team Red and Billy Husso for Team White each gave up a goal in their first half of the game. Now we're seeing Okanura and Sebastian Kosa between the pipes. Ron is out there for Team Red. He gave the Team Red team the lead as played along to Berggren. Jonathan Berggren dropping it back inside the Team White zone to Sider. Now to Ben Sherratt back to Sider. Moves away from Zadina, stumbled a little bit, but turned it over at the line to Albert Johansson. Back into the Team White zone. It's lifted ahead to Dylan Larkin. Now to Raymond, up across the line, trying to cut through defenders, knocked off stride by Newpower.
Larkin now with control of the puck, looking to shoot. Zadina takes it away.
Here comes Zadina up the right side. Larkin in pursuit, trying to spin him around. Cleaning house. Sider knocked into the ice.
Really, that Dylan Larkin shows his obviously excellent speed there, and then Mo finished it off.
Back to the line. Olli Mata handles it, shoots the puck. It ends up on the stick of Lucas Raymond. Raymond out the center, lifts it over on the left side for Larkin. His shot deflects off the stick of Wyatt Newpower and into the protective netting. Actually hit the scoreboard in behind Okanura, the goaltender.
Going back to that play that started with Philip Zadina taking the puck from Dylan Larkin, a good defensive play by Zadina, and we saw last year that is where Zadina's game improved the most, was being a 200-foot player, being able to make plays in the defensive zone, and we've heard coaches talk about Zadina and how if you get those little things right, the scoring's going to come. So now they hope that he takes the next step offensively this season.
Well, great point, Danielle. I mean, he's the son of a coach. His dad is a coach, and so he knows the game inside and out, and he's able to apply it. And he has come a long way as far as being a 200-foot player, and round out his offensive game. And that's why Red Wings gave him that contract extension. They still see something in him, and it's good.
Elmer Soderblom along the far boards, shoulder-to-shoulder check, delivered by Roenick. It's in behind the net right now. Soderblom will pick it up. Muscled it to the blue line of Sabrango, now to Camphor. Camphor with a feed down low. Olli Mata will intercept Hirosi's cross-ice pass across Hannes. Hannes' goal has given Team Red the lead as he dumps it in and makes a change on the go. Camphor will pick it up. He's a former University of Michigan player.
Yeah, well, somebody asked me the other day if you called games when Stephen Camphor was a Wolverine, and I said, I don't think so.
Not that long ago.
Yeah. How old do you think Camphor is?
Here's Giovanni Smith scooping it up. Trying to center it out in front. Comes back towards the line. Here is Osterley. Crisp pass over to McIsaac. Into the corner. Edvinson trying to finish off a check shot by Kubalik. Kubalik's one of those guys. He's strong and powerful along the wing, and he's got a pretty good shot. We've seen it here a couple of times today, but he can score from long range.
And let's be honest, no one knows what the heck's really going on in Chicago right now anyway, so that was probably a very difficult situation for a veteran player like Kubalik, who started early, is trying to find his game in a situation that seemed to be a little bit unsettled, to say the least.
I think you could say the same thing about Pew Suter, who was a Chicago Blackhawk as well.
We've got Carly Johnston ringside. She's got a note for us. Carly, what's going on down there?
Hey guys, not a big Hag update, but he's still not out on the bench. He's still getting looked at in the locker room, so I'll keep monitoring that situation and let you guys know if there's a bigger update.
Awesome. Thank you, Carly. That was an unfortunate situation. We saw Hag take a puck to the side of his head. So he's still in the locker room. We're hoping that he's all right.
Yeah, well, certainly. That first and foremost, we want him to be okay. I'm certainly not a doctor, but I would assume we're not going to see
not?
him. Well, I was a sports doctor for many years, but that was it was just a role I played.
So you could write prescriptions, but not do anything else.
Right? Yeah. And you know what?
That's the best kind of doctor, isn't it?
Exactly.
Carly says she's not taking any prescription from Art.
Hey,
I agree.
You're pretty popular if you can write prescriptions. You have a lot of friends.
Here's Rodick with a shot, and that one wide of the. I would imagine if you're in college, studying for those midterms, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You need a little help, right?
Yeah, I prescribed a lot of no-dos.
Up over the line, Ben Sherratt. Pass across. Dylan Larkin moves in, and he ripped that one wide to the far side of the net.
Looks like Mata tied him up a little bit in that play, so a nice defensive play from Ole
2-on-1
Mata.
developing the other way. Verana and Zadina over the line. Here's Verana to Zadina, and Mo Sider went down and knocked it away with a stick. Now a lead pass to Lucas Raymond the other way. End-to-end action. Instead of shooting the puck, Raymond turns and whistles it deeper into the corner for Sider. Mo Sider dished it into the corner, and in after it is Dylan Larkin. Well, maybe Zadina and Verana will make a pretty good pair on a line.
Well, you know, they had a little bit of chemistry when the trade was first made when Verana arrived in Detroit, so that could be a possibility. I think they're comfortable with each other for sure.
Well, not knowing many of the players, I would imagine Derek Lalonde will have to just rely on maybe Steve Yzerman and some of the other coaches that have seen these players play.
Yeah, well, Alex Tanguay has been here, so he's familiar with the two of them especially. But you look at like a guy like David Perron, this is where things get sticky when we're trying to decide who the lines might be, because a second line centered by Andrew Kopp with Verana and Zadina would be great, but David Perron's probably going to be on that second line as well.
Yeah, I would assume so, and
Yeah.
you know, and I think obviously Steve's going to have a lot to say with this lineup too. When you put it together, I mean, he's going to let Derek Lalonde do his coaching, but
let's not forget too that Robbie Fabry's going to be out for quite some time.
Right.
And when he comes back, he was a second line player for the Red Wings, but now there's a little competition amongst ice time for players that want to play on that second line.
right. The thing with Fabry though, and he's a gifted goal scorer and a great trade obviously by the Red Wings. He has to bring that minus. His plus minus is sometimes.
Well, you could say that about most of the Red Wings right now over the past few seasons.
I mean, you could, but
Dylan Larkins is not great.
no, I agree. I definitely agree with that. But I do think that, Fabry, especially for a team that's going to be committed to defense, that naturally should bring his plus minus number down.
Yeah, it should. And I think it'll happen for more than just Fabry, I guess is what I'm saying. You'll see those numbers improve all over.
Well, if it doesn't,
We're in trouble.
yes, there's going to be some more changes than happening.
4:35 to go, second half. It's a one-goal lead for Team Red. 3-2. Cross Hannes with the go-ahead goal. Hiroshi up the right side, makes his way in over the Team White blue line. Angles over, finds some room, but then it was picked off of his stick, and L'Esperance having trouble with that. Hot potato gets it across to Stephen Camphor. He'll settle it down his own end.
Well, we'll see now when Kosa might pull. Only 4 minutes and counting left in this game.
David Perron over the blue line. Feed pass left side. It's centered by Pew Suter. Broken up. Perron after it again. He's tied up by Oscar Plandowski. Perron
Perron, a
jams the
big
puck in
body,
along the
too.
boards.
He can protect that puck.
32 years old, one of the elder statesmen on this Red Wing team now, as Kubalik will scoop it up for Team Red in the corner, dodges a check, and now plays it over to Plandowski. Good skating defenseman, pass off the stick of Giovanni Smith all the way down the ice. This is an icing call against Team Red with 3:32 to go.
Costa looking at the bench, trying to get the signals together. You would assume.
I've been asked a couple of times on Twitter where Bertuzzi is at. Just a quick update on Tyler Bertuzzi. He was injured, a little flare up during camp, so they're holding him out. Probably more precautionary than anything, nothing major to worry about, and I'm sure we'll see him throughout the preseason sometime.
Oh, Smith now. Here we go.
Little shot
With
to the bat
Berggren.
to Berggren, then Berggren answers with a cross check on Smith.
I'll tell you, Berggren, I don't know if it's translating well in our telecast here, but down low and in traffic, he's pretty nifty with that puck. I think that he's able to make plays with not much space.
Time becoming a factor here for Team White as the play is stopped at the Team Red blue line. 3:09 to go, 1-goal lead for Team Red, 3-2.
Costa keeps looking over to that bench, trying to figure out, when do you want me to leave?
After today, we'll be back in some preseason action in Detroit. You guys starting Tuesday at Pittsburgh, and that'll be available on DetroitRedWings.com. And Ken, you'll have some games on the radio for the preseason too.
Yep, we're airing 4 games, and the first one is against Chicago on Wednesday, Washington on Friday, and then the following week we'll be in Washington for the game against the Capitals. And then we conclude our preseason broadcast on 97.1 The Ticket with a game against the Maple Leafs the following Friday.
I don't think I'll be in Washington for that game, so make sure you say hi to the BT Express for me.
Of course,
he
that's
plays.
Anthony Mantha.
Oh, he'll play. He'll want to play against the Red Wings. I'm pretty sure he'll ask to be in that lineup.
Capitals are an interesting team. They're getting a little bit older, and some people say they could drop a little bit in the standings, but they're still an outstanding club.
Anytime you have Ovechkin on your team, you're going to be a bit of a force.
The other thing is, can he be the all-time goal-scoring leader down the road, do you think?
Well, it depends on what kind of move Washington really does make. I mean, certainly, if they're not as formidable as they have been, I think he has a better chance because he'll be out there all the time just shooting, trying to score goals.
Roenick put the sticks between the leg of Soderblom, gave him the can opener move right there, and now that allows Team Red to shoot it down the ice.
All right, we'll keep an eye on Costa. We would expect that he's going to leave the bench, for the extra skater.
Sedina with a shot. That one handcuffed the goaltender. Costa was run into by Rasmussen, and the play is stopped. Down a minute 42 to go in the second half.
Michael's saying, good thing this isn't a real game because I could have got goaltender interference.
We saw what they're doing for penalties in this scrimmage is a penalty shot, and then you get the face-off in your offensive zone. We have seen an opportunity for Team Red, but not for Team White.
Yeah,
No.
Smith scored on the penalty shot after he was high stick by Edvinsson.
And really, that reinvigorated Giovanni. He has been a force out there today.
We saw moments ago he was mixing it up a little bit with Jonathan Berggren.
Really, yeah. I mean, Bergman's like, dude.
Wanted to mix it up with Edvinsson earlier, too.
Really, he wants to mix it up with anybody.
That's his game. Hard nose. Here's a shot from down low by Oli Mata. I like that when the defenseman pinches in right there. It causes some problems defensively and
Costa's
an
leaving.
opportunity. All right, extra attackers on for Team White, trying to tie it up with a minute 13 to go. 6 attackers on the ice for Team White. Ben Sherratt holds it in left point, throws it down to Perron in the corner. Raymond to the blue line, Sherratt. Some top-notch players out there for Team White. Veteran players, Perron moved it to the blue line, but that one eluded Sherratt. And Sider travels out to the blue line. Quickly, Team White back over the line. Lucas Raymond to Perron. 48 seconds left. Time winding down. Sherratt barely held it in with his skate at the line. Moves it now to Perron into the corner for Raymond. Newpower with a check on him. Perron comes in with a check on Newpower. They go to the ice in the corner. A pile up there. Smith trying to kick it free. Raymond got it loose, and now it's intercepted by Kubalik. Angles out the center, rolls it over to Smith. He's got Chris Qualo on the right side. Passed it over instead of shooting, and Sherratt will intercept.
Yeah, Giovanni probably like to have that back, put a little more mustard on that. that pass across the ice.
Down to 14 seconds to go. Team White has to hurry. It's a 3-2 lead for Team Red. Pass across for Raymond. And he knocked his man Chris Qualo down. Here's Larkin misfiring. Broke his stick in two. Smith shoots the puck down the ice into the empty net. His second goal of the game, and that'll do it with 1.7 seconds remaining. And Team Red will win this game 4-2.
Well, what a game for Giovanni Smith. He was impressive. Adds his second goal of the game with that empty netter.
You know, Danielle and Art, I think he's best when he plays with an edge, and we saw that
Right.
here today a
Yeah,
little bit.
definitely. And we talked about it. He has to play with that edge because he's one of those borderline players for making the Red Wings roster.
Right, and if he plays with that edge, his skill set, which is good, will come to the forefront as well. That will give him the confidence. He'll be engaged. He's engaged. The offense will be there.
Players like Giovanni, and then obviously Joe Veleno, who we didn't get to see today, and I'm sure he's bummed about that he wasn't able to play in today's scrimmage. But those are the guys you're looking at to kind of press in these situations and hopefully crack the roster.
All right, we've got a little bit of a shootout here. Here's Jonathan Berggren making his way in. He fakes and can't score. He tried to pull the goaltender Okanura way out of his crease, and he stood tall, Okanura, and that's no goal.
Berggren got himself in a tough angle.
Yeah, tough.
on
Yeah,
that one.
ran out of
Yeah.
real estate a little bit there, but I like the thought process.
Here's Austin Zarnik. He's pretty crafty. Let's see what he does. He makes his way in, slows down, and shot it way wide of the goal. Saw him score some nifty goals in the practice here, but he's shaking his head, and now Mo Sider will try.
Gets a reaction from the crowd, too.
Sider moves in, backhand, save made by the goaltender Okanura.
Well, obviously they've seen something about going to the stick side.
Here's Michael Rasmussen. He'll try for Team Red. Cuts in, shoots, and a blocker save by Kosa, the big goaltender for Team White.
Yeah, they're about the same size, Kosa and
Big Rass.
yeah.
Here's Pew Suter. Is he going to shoot or is he going to deke, Art?
He is going to deke.
Let's see what happens. He moves in, he dekes, backhand, and Okanura with a late pad save right there. He tried to go 5-hole.
That's a nice move.
I thought he
Suter.
scored. I actually thought he scored. Okay, here's Giovanni Smith. Will this be the icing on the cake?
See what he does. He's getting a cheer as he makes his way in. Stick handles, backhand, and that one wide of the right goal post.
Tried a cool little move there. Didn't quite work. But hey, he's had a good game, so I don't think we're
Yeah.
going to hold that one against
All right,
him.
here he is. The mountain of a man, according to Simon Edvinson.
Elmer Soderblom, stick handles to the left circle. Moves in, shoots, scores!
Oh my
Low to
gosh.
the ice. Snapped it by Okanura.
Nothing fancy there. Just nothing fancy. Nice quick release.
It's not how hard, it's how many.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Daniela.
You're welcome.
Taro Hiroshi, former Spartan, twisting and turning, making his way in. Shoots, scores!
Yes. They could have used him yesterday, huh, Daniela?
Whatever. No comment, Art.
I think Minnesota's still scoring.
They might be, actually.
And they're on the plane home.
How about the Lions, are they?
Adam Ernie will try. He shoots, trying to go 5-hole, and Okanura closes the pads again and makes the save. So they tried backhand tries. They tried to go between his pads, and he's come up big.
Yes, he has. Well, he was a star in the Olympics.
Here's defenseman Philip Roenick. Slap shot off the crossbar. Man, he tried to blast
There you
that one
go.
by.
Leave it up to Roenick.
Well,
Wow.
quickly Ben Sherratt off the bench, makes his way in, slaps one in off the goaltender right there, Okanura.
Ken's very happy now, and so is Daniela. The Honolulu Blue and Silver Gridiron Gladiators are up on the Vikings, 7-0.
Here's Cross Hannes. He had a goal for Team Red. Makes his way in, dekes, and lost the handle of it.
Lost
It
the
rolled
puck.
off his stick.
He wasn't going to score there, though. He was just in too close. Kosa's huge.
Simon Edvinson will have an opportunity, the tall defenseman.
Well, if it holds true, he's going to hit Oganara in the head.
Backhand try and a pad save right there
Too
by
soon for those
Okanura.
jokes, by the way, Art. Too soon.
Too soon. Yeah.
Chris Qualo now, he's had some opportunities with a big club. Makes his way in towards the goal, lost the handle of it, and could not get a shot
I
away.
wonder if the ice is, something's going on. They all seem to be losing the puck a little bit right now.
It was the old Osgood move where he piles the snow up in front.
Oh, you bet. Ozzie had them all.
Left now, roof set as he gets his second goal,
That
and
was
he
nice.
popped one under the crossbar.
I think we're seeing the entire roster shoot, right, on each side?
They were going to go 5 each, I think, but, you know, they like to switch things up in these situations when they have the chance.
My mathematics is right. We're like on player 13 now.
Dominic Kubalik tried to go 5-hole, and the save made with a stick of Kosa, and that will end the shootout. And thus comes the end of the red-white game, and the final score, the Team Red 4, Team White 2, and both teams march out onto the ice, congratulate their netminders. Job well done by both sides, and this crowd standing room only at Center Ice Arena with a nice round of applause for both of these two
There you
teams.
go. They're shaking hands with each other. The losing team has to buy the other team Rolexes. So there's a lot on the line here.
Do they have to buy the broadcasters Rolexes too?
Oh, yeah.
We get the Timex.
Ours is Solex or something, probably. Yeah.
Well, what'd you guys think? It's the bow of training camp, the red and white scrimmage. What are your biggest takeaways, Art?
I like the pace of the game. I really do, and I do think defensively they are tighter up. You can see Derek Lalonde stressing to them that what he would really like to see is them be more aggressive in the neutral zone and not allow the offensive or the attacking team to really pretty much set up in the Red Wings' end. And I think you saw that for the most part. I thought the white team for long stretches was the better team and seemed to have most of the scoring chances, and I think the game really changed on the penalty shot by Giovanni Smith. Once that happened, and Kenny pointed it out during his play-by-play call, the red team actually seemed to really pick up the pace and really started to exert their will a little bit. So it was good. It was very, very good.
Well, when you look at the goal scores in the game, 4 of the goals out of the 6 were scored by proven National Hockey League players. So, you know, the proven veterans really played really well. Larkin with a goal. Giovanni Smith had a couple. One was an empty netter. Verana from Zadina, and the other goaltenders, Luff and Hannes, for their respective clubs.
You know, they're taking a picture now with all the volunteers, and they do a wonderful job here up at Center Ice here at Traverse City. Sebastian Kosa is so big, even when he kneels, people can't stand behind him because he's still too tall. He was almost going to lay down on the ground, on the ice, so people
You might
could
need
get in
to
the
sit
picture.
on his butt a little. Get lower, Sebastian.
He should take his mask off.
Yeah. But another shout out to these volunteers up in Traverse City. It wouldn't be possible to bring training camp up here without them. They absolutely love it. They love working with the team, and they do a great job taking care of everybody. So it's so much fun to come to Traverse City and see everybody every single year. They're excited to be here, and they love Red Wings hockey, that's for sure.
Well, they certainly do, and they do a great job. They really do. They're very, very accommodating and very professional, and they're volunteers. This is, they don't get paid for it. They just come here, and what they do is they love the Red Wings.
Well, let's go over that preseason schedule one more time. We mentioned that the Red Wings have their first preseason game on Tuesday at Pittsburgh, Wednesday at home at Little Caesars Arena against Chicago. You can get that on Bally Sports Plus, and then Friday, September 30th, Saturday, October 1st, and the following week there's a few more games as well. The Red Wings playing 8 preseason games, actually. 8 preseason games. That's high end for the NHL. But we're going to get a good look at some of the young prospects that we saw here, like a Simon Edvinsson, Elmer Soderblom, maybe even Sebastian Kosa a couple of times in the preseason. So it'll be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to the next couple weeks.
And Berggren, too.
Jonathan
52.
Berggren.
Yes.
That's right, Art. That's right.
I like his the way he handles the puck with people on him.
All right, we're going to get our final thoughts here at Center Ice Arena, wrapping up training camp. A big thanks to Huntington Bank for presenting our streams. Let's bring in Carly for our final thoughts. Carly, what were your biggest takeaways from today's game?
Sorry, I was over here taking a picture. I love when the players throw up their sticks and get a big cheer, especially from the crowd here at Center Ice Arena. Traverse City people are just outstanding. Traverse Cityites, I guess we could call them. They've been absolutely outstanding. The hospitality is top tier here at Center Ice, but I do want to talk about training camp that we just saw, but mainly about the game we saw today. Team Red wins it 4-2. I loved seeing Jeremy Biakapatuka. I know we were talking about him. He was an invite here on a professional tryout, so it was great to see him be able to make a splash, and he was really noticeable out on the ice, very physical. We saw a couple little tiffs between Biakapatuka and Rasmussen. It was getting a little chippy out there, and I loved seeing that. Obviously, no one wants to injure their teammates, so they were holding back a little bit, but still having a physical game like that and still having fun. I saw some guys checking each other around the boards here, coming back from the check with a smile. They were just enjoying themselves out there. And speaking of checks, I really liked Philip Zadina out on the ice today.
Ooh, Carly.
The transition is
Pawnee.
A1.
Mid-season form there for Carly already.
I liked Philip Zadina. Obviously, we've been talking about the production has not been there for him the past couple of seasons. So this is a good look, hopefully, what we're going to be seeing the rest of this season. Cross Hannes is another guy that I was really impressed with. This was a big camp for him, trying to crack the lineup in Grand Rapids, but he really made a name for himself. Maybe they're going to see him in Detroit. Who knows? So I'm excited to see him during these exhibition games. Riley Piercy, another guy, not expected. He's very physical. It was a kind of a chippy game. It got a little bit there at the end. And Giovanni Smith, of course, we got to love Smitty. It was great talking to him as well. But that penalty shot goal, I think that really ignited him. He was having fun out there. I was having fun on the sidelines. I found myself giggling, pounding on the boards. A fan also getting to work for the Detroit Red Wings is another great thing about this job. Sixth. I don't even know how this is happening. A sixth season with the Detroit Red Wings. Beyond blessed and excited for this upcoming season. I'm so excited. You guys, I'm talking and I'm getting out of breath.
Yeah.
I think that's the cold down
Yeah, I
there,
was gonna
Carly.
say, you
actually.
sure?
A little bit of both. I don't know.
Sure not the ice down there?
Whew, oh my gosh, I need to sit down.
Yeah,
I'm excited, clearly.
You know, Carly brings up a good point about Jeremy Biaka-Batuka, a guy that was like a late addition to the Prospects tournament. And I'm not sure how the cutdowns are going to go, or if tomorrow after practice, unfortunately, because it's professional sports, they release some players or release them back to their junior teams, or say your PTO is over. I am hoping he's done enough to get into some preseason games.
Oh, absolutely.
I really think that I think he has shown enough and pretty impressive. And when you look at a player like that, and that's one of the players that perhaps fell through the cracks, you're surprised that he wasn't drafted. Because he
Right,
does
I know.
look like he has a good skill set.
And I think that's what's exciting about training camp and having a new coaching staff is it's really a fresh, clean slate for everyone. So I'm really hoping that we're going to get some more good looks at him in the upcoming preseason.
Well, thank you, Carly. It was excellent. Great updates
Great job.
throughout the game. We had so much fun in Traverse City, and
Yes.
we'll see all of you guys for the preseason as well. I'm going to wrap it with these final thoughts. I think the one thing that I would like to add is that not only did we have great individual players here at the Prospect Tournament, and training camp, the energy levels were higher than I can ever remember. Players are really excited to get things going under the new coaching staff and have that clean slate that we talked about earlier. And additions like Ben Sherratt and David Perron making the impact that they did here at camp are the things we all wanted to see. So I'm really looking forward to the clean slate of this season.
Excellent point, and I think, Ken, that's what happens when you have competition within the roster. You have to elevate your level of play because, whatever the Satchel Paige quote that I always screw up, but, don't look behind you or if someone's catching up, or look behind you because someone's right on top of you. That's exactly what's happening right now with the Red Wings. I mean, these fellas know, except, for a couple of players, and we all know who they are, there are jobs to be had at this level, and Steve has created a roster where you can only have 24, but they legitimately have maybe up to 30 players that could play in the NHL, and that means that these guys are going to go after it, and these preseason games are going to be exciting and a lot of competition.
I thought the compete level was great, not only
was
for the
great.
Prospects tournament, but here today in this 4-2 win for Team Red. Certainly hope Robert Hagg's okay.
Yep.
Got hit in the head with a
Yes.
puck and did not return to the game, so hopefully he'll be okay. The Red Wings do have some injuries that they need to really take a look at, but it gives opportunity for some of the other players to try and make this team.
All right, one final shout out, and the most important shout out of the past 2 weeks.
To Pete?
No, well, yes, he put his arm in. You saw his arm. He was taking a picture. You got a little glimpse on the stream. But to our crew, it is
without
not
question.
easy to bring everything up to Traverse City and put these streams on for you guys for 2 weeks straight. They do a phenomenal job. Brad on the audio, Eric on the engineering, Mark producing. We've got a few people that operated replay and all of the cameras, the volunteers that helped us out. So thank you all so much for letting us be able to do this and bringing all of the action to the fans.
And, Daniela did tell me that next year She's going to learn everybody's name and at least say hello once to each and every one of you.
Yes, yeah.
No
That's-
more big timing.
Whew, all right. Well, I have a lot on my plate, so I'm going to get to that so I can bring you guys that next year. Thank you both so much. It's been a lot of fun. Art,
Thank
Ken,
you.
and Carly Johnston, of course. We'll see you guys in the preseason.